Senator, take a shot at it. Go ahead. I want to talk to you about Russia, and I want to talk to you about Federal Reserve reform, where you've written some really brilliant stuff. But take a shot at the trade race.
Look, Larry, I agree with most of what you said there, and I will say what President Trump has done on trade has been tremendously successful. Within the administration, there are two camps.
Yung kapatid niya rin,
There is
paano?
one camp that is urging the
Kasi nasabihan niya, ano daw, magpakalbo,
which is to use the
magpakalbo
threat
na
of tariffs as leverage to lower the tariffs from our trading partners, as leverage to remove non-tariff barriers.
Pakalbo na lang.
Scott Bessent is in that camp, and I am emphatically in that camp. I think it is incredibly effective. That's what President Trump is doing. There is another camp within the administration that doesn't see tariffs as a means to an end, but rather sees them as an end in and of itself, that wants to see high tariffs from the U.S. is fine with high retaliatory tariffs from our trading partners, wants it as a permanent feature of our economic system. I think that camp is mistaken. I think that would be a bad economic...
100% pork. You'll go, whoa! With America's #1 sausage, Johnsonville. You deserve this.
And right in the middle of it also, they were the ones financing Iran.
Think about in the one big beautiful bill, we
ginagamit
pulled
ko
our hair
lang.
out trying to
Sa
cut
chicken
50
curry,
million or 100 million here and there. $1.1 trillion is real money,
Hindi
even
ako
in
nagamit ng
government
data.
terms.
Hindi ka gumagamit ng data.
Free 4.4%.
Pagka na lang, may minsan.
That has a couple of consequences. We got a couple $1 trillion that are sitting there. They're not being invested. They're not going to home mortgages. They're not going to small business loans. They're just sitting there taking money from the taxpayers. I'd much rather that money go to create jobs. Secondly, the other thing that we do is buy treasury with that money.
Asa ngipin ang bibili.
What a Crockett, that's the focus of science. All right, Cory Booker in the Senate, he's had enough. His party is a mess, and he's
Democratic Party needs a wake-up call. It's time for Democrats to have a backbone. It's time for us to fight. It's time for us to draw lines. When are we going to stand together? If we don't stand as Democrats, we deserve to lose.
come on. Like, sure, it may seem like the party is rudderless, it may seem like the Democrats are leaderless, but obviously Cory Booker hasn't spent enough time watching that.
Pahilot mo yan.
You have been clearly one of the rising stars of the Democratic Party. Why do you think you have been able to connect with people, especially young people, because you have a big following among younger voters?
I don't sound like a politician all the time. Instead, I sound more relatable and like a frustrated American. You know, as everything is kind of falling apart around us, we still have some very good political figures that are seemingly holding it together in front of the camera, and I'm looking like, what the hell?
Gerald.
That's the worst thing, too. Well, The Atlantic just published a lengthy profile of Crockett, calling her a Democrat for the Trump era. The piece notes that
Chicken curry.
Democrats need sharper, fiercer communicators. The book author Landry says Crockett told her, quote, "There's one clear person in this race that has the largest social media following." Hello? Well, she's only a two-term congresswoman representing Texas's 30th district, a sprawling area that includes South Dallas and Tarrant County. She's a hardcore leftist. Her MO is to be a political bomb thrower, usually with race front and center.
The only people that are lying are the mediocre white boys. This is why they don't want us to have education, because they don't want any more.
This is why the white boys don't want us to have education, okay? This is why the white boys shut the fuck up, slave nigger.
Hey.
Oh. Yeah, she's just a dumb old fucking slave nigger. She doesn't know any better.
Ready na ako kanya.
Hey, I got this right here, over there. It's a banana apple loaf. Oh, I'll fuck that up. I'll fuck that up right now.
Banana loaf,
Banana apple.
apple.
Hi, banana apple. Hi, banana apple. lady killer eyes, they're gonna fall for me. They're gonna fall.
Hi, Nikki.
Now, in your eyes.
And if I had that baby and I walked in the mall, and the mall, forget about it. I can't, I don't know what the mom and left me.
Yeah, right.
Mali mo talaga.
Yeah, right.
I'm looking for a babysitter.
Yeah, right.
Woo!
I'm looking for a
To help me and the baby.
Yeah, mama. That's it. I'm done.
I'm done.
The
So,
mama be like, what did you say?
yeah. The kid's like, now listen, crawl that way. No, crawl over there. You know the deal. We made a deal. You get Baba, I get Baba. Yeah.
I'm not correct, that bitch.
I'm fucking around a little more.
I'll be back.
That's what
Hi there, Marisa.
where's my,
If I'd have known that, she would have just went and got my medicine. And
yeah.
got that.
My,
Your what, baby?
number.
Your sandal? Your what?
My phone.
Your phone? Oh, I charge your phone there.
I can't answer them.
Hi, everyone. I'm making chicken curry. Hi, baby Luis.
Yeah. You got some strong grip there. I'm messing around like a butt. world today, everything. Motherfuckers paying for what? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hi there, Miss Marisa and Brittany.
Coming in. Sita.
Pobrecito.
Oh, yeah. Mess around.
Pobrecito. Still be there. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside of me, you're my fire. You're beside me.
I like doing it, paying all my bills, rent, everything out the way. I pay it like on the end of, like almost the end of the month,
Turmeric,
everything. I'm fucking one. It's already done.
turmeric, turmeric.
You also have, like goodies, we have brownies, we have this, we have,
And how much for the ribeye, baby? I forget.
huh?
I forget the ribeye. How much?
Oh, yeah. How much was the ribeye?
I'll check.
Okay, just let's know how much the ribeye was.
I thought it'd be like
10,000.
Grabe naman.
That's like,
Grabe, babe.
like a chocolate cake,
Parang kailangan kong pagtrabahoan ng ilang taon.
Kasi sa...
yeah, bro,
Ito
let's
pa,
do
ano?
that.
Grabe siguro ba? Ang
Then we even got this.
Grabing tubo mo
This is
dun.
what I like right here. Ooh, this is avocado with the cream cheese and all.
Where did you buy it? Ano na yun?
Yeah,
Ginawan ko, babe. Ginawan ko siya. Ano ba,
it's
Graham?
avocado,
Graham, babe.
cream cheese, man.
Try mo, babe. Masarap din. Masarap din, babe.
Okay.
Ay, ano? Pero masarap yan. Burrito ka namin para lang dati.
Binigyan ko pala ng ako. Masarap din.
Masarap yan. For sure. Ikaw ba naman nagluto?
Very nice.
That's not Kenny.
Luto ka rice bean.
Okay.
I did something with it.
No, what is it?
The remote
Remote?
control.
Remote
The
control.
remote control.
Saan ba? Ito ba? Ito ba, be? Hindi. Ah, yung fire stick remote.
Fire stick.
Smaller
remote.
noise.
Fire stick. You want me to call?
Oh, the fire stick.
Tawagan ko.
She could call it first.
Na. Ang sleepy na. Sana. Makakubuan ka kay ate. If you just sit on it, be.
Or else we can buy. Just regular phone dito ba? Oh, right there.
There it is.
Then put right there.
Drop his butt.
And then
No.
it's
You were asleep. Whew, grabe. Kita niya, be.
eh.
Kita niya. Maya kayo, alis.
Maya-maya be. After dinner be. Kasi ito ginagamit ko be sa chicken curry. Babas.
Well,
Mom,
she
Sarap
tries
to.
to play the role of the oppressed.
Babas chicken curry.
Jasmine Crockett grew up comfortably, raised by her parents in St. Louis until their divorce. Her dad was a postal worker. She attended private schools, like the prestigious all-girls Catholic school in Rosati Kane, and graduated from the Mary Institute in St. Louis Country Day School before that. Then it was on to Rhodes College in Memphis. The tuition and housing for her final year was approximately $29,000. She went on to graduate from the University of Houston Law School, not bad. And now, she'll say just about anything to get attention.
Every little hate that they spew your way, my way, it is because
Hey.
they know that they see
Baba mo na
how
ako, Biha.
beautiful we are.
Baba,
Bigay na lang kay ate Carla mag-drive.
Baba or taas?
Taas pala.
Taas.
Ang galing.
I mean,
Yes.
Taas.
Taas pala.
Bye-bye.
The Democrat Party has come to, they have
Balik din.
zero
Bigay ko.
solution. The grievance and the
Bye.
and the bombastic and dramatically created Marcus has mastered both.
Bye-bye.
Listen, he up there, he's hearing all kinds of nonsense and bull. Who am I gonna sit there? Yeah, we in love with who? What is happening? This is a terrible nightmare. Somebody slap me and wake me up. I would tell him to grow up fine and stop being so.
Educated.
Yeah, she's just asking.
Full performative, right? Her sound, her swagger. But just 3 years ago, when she was first campaigning for office, she sounded a little more buttoned up.
It's good to see you in the new year. You know, no one could have told me that when I went down to Austin, now it was like a little bit over a year ago, that I would be running for Congress. This is not what my plan was. But what I've always decided is that I would step up when there was a need.
Oh, how noble and sacrificial of her. Which is the real Jasmine Crockett, though? Oh, the
Y'all get down,
Service came
go
and
do some
Jasmine.
crack tonight.
But back to that Atlantic profile, they saw something else in Crockett. A raging narcissist. And for a woman who claims to be so tough, she has exceedingly thin skin. They described her as highly conscious of her self-presentation. Crockett wore acrylic nails painted with the word resist and a set of heavy lashes over her brown eyes. The lock screen on her phone is a headshot of herself. And Crockett apparently thinks she should be able to control to whom a journalist speaks when they're actually reporting a profile. 4 days before this story was published, Crockett called me to express frustration that I'd reached out to so many House members without telling her first. She told me,
Hi there,
shutting
Mr.
down the
Lapu
profile
Diligan.
and revoking all permissions. And yet another gem that speaks to Crockett's highly racialized view of the world. From the same profile, Crockett said that Hispanic
Where are you
Trump
guys
supporters
from?
had almost like a slave mentality. I asked Crockett whether she had ever regrets about her public comments. She raised her eyebrows and replied, obsessed dimwit. But on the trade issue, come on, at least we know whose side she's on.
The fact that I'm rooting for Canada and I'm rooting for Mexico a lot is really wild. But they are really the ones that are speaking truth to power right now.
sent me a memo with the phrase "truth to power" is retired. But there are some Democrats in leadership who apparently aren't at all amused by her. Last month, Crockett was forced to drop her bid for a key post on the House Oversight Committee. The defeat is the latest blow to Crockett's leadership ambitions. She lost her November bid for Democratic Policy and Comms Committee chair, a high-ranking position in the caucus that helped shape the messaging strategy. According to news reports, some Hill Democrats find her messaging style, quote, overzealous. But the messaging is really the least of her problems. Because Democrats like Crockett have convinced themselves that Trump is successful because he's controversial, because he uses blunt language. Real success comes from his policies. His policies simply make the average American life better. They lead to more peace and more prosperity, a better border situation. Because Trump fights for the little guy. He doesn't just talk about it, he does it. But Democrats like Crockett? Well, they fight for a very small subset of elites and activists by advocating for illegals,
She's probably getting money from somewhere too.
and yes, for nuts like Randy Weingarten. Now, this is why their approval numbers are absolutely in the toilet. And having toilet mouths with big social media followings isn't going to help it. And that's the angle.
Want even more Fox News on YouTube? Become a Fox News Patriot today. Click the channel.
Retired four-star General Jack King says drones have dramatically changed the battlefield. Roll tape.
On a normal day, say a battalion of Ukrainians, 500-600 people fighting, in that normal day, they have 400 to 500 drones flying on behalf of that battalion, almost a drone per person. So if an enemy soldier appears, they can kill it. If an artillery piece is found, or an entire battery, they can kill it. If a tank shows up, they can kill it. That's the reality. The moment Russians just conducted a 20-vehicle attack over the weekend. They had armored vehicles and tanks. They had 40-something motorcycles, and they had buggies that they were using, all trying to avoid being detected. They knew the tanks would get detected, and they knew the other vehicles, but they wanted the infantry guys, and they're moving it quickly on a battlefield. So I'm surprised by the week and the month in terms of the dynamic change that war is taking.
Yeah, well, about drones these days. House Foreign Affairs Committee member, Congressman Darrell Isaac joins us this morning. You know, that's a revolution on the battlefield. Is the U.S. keeping pace in small drone production?
Stuart, thanks for having me on. And the fact is, sort of, look, we're the king of drones. We have the best technology, and when it comes to the big guys, including the Predator, we dominate. Where we have a problem is where these parts are coming from. Most of these drones are Chinese parts, at least a portion of them, and on both sides. The reality is low-cost, affordable parts are where we're falling behind. So we have the technology, but we can't match the price, and that's one of the areas being done, particularly here in San Diego, which is the epicenter of drone production in the U.S.
Is there a full court press on increasing drone production? Because, I mean, are we really going to get at this problem? Because it's a big deal.
You know, the Department of Defense, under the Secretary of Defense, is absolutely gearing up the technology to make low-cost swarming and non-swarming drones. So the answer is yes. Again, Stuart, one of the challenges we are going to have for the short period of time. But he's also put some teeth into the fact that Tijuana has to go forward taking responsibility. Remember, most of the problem is occurring north of the border, but all of the sewage is coming from south of the border. It's not just sewage, it's also chemical dumps, tires. The nature of what is coming from Tijuana is massive, and you know, even though it's a large trade partner, President Trump is not dealing with it the way any of his predecessors did, or the way he was advised to in the first place.
Why am I not surprised? Congressman Darrell Isaac, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Getting that from YouTube.
Retired four-star General Jack King says,
Trump EPA pledges 100% cleanup of Tijuana River pollution. Full story. Imagine a river so polluted that even the air above it poses a health risk. This is the grim reality of the Tijuana River. But here's where it gets controversial. The Trump EPA has made a bold statement to clean it up completely, aiming for a 100% solution to this decades-old crisis. Environmental Protection Agency Administrator Lee Zeldin, after personally experiencing the foul odor that has plagued Southern California residents, announced a new agreement with Mexico.
Their governor's fucked up. That's what he should be doing here. Yeah.
Waters where the Tijuana River meets the Pacific Ocean. Today, we're showing that a clean river is achievable, said Mexico's Secretary of Environment and Natural Resources, Elisa Arcena, as she prepared to sign the Memorandum of Understanding, MOU. The Tijuana River, stretching 120 miles from Baja California to Imperial Beach, is contaminated with sewage, including drugs and pharmaceuticals, as well as industrial waste. The agreement, which includes Mexico's commitment to release $93 million previously allocated under Minute 238 funds, sets ambitious deadlines for improvements. For instance, treated effluent from the Arturo Herrera and La Morita wastewater treatment plants, currently flooding into the river at 10 million gallons per day, will now be redirected to a site upstream of the Rodriguez Dam, southeast of Tijuana. This redirection is part of a broader strategy to address the river's pollution effectively. Tom Kiernan, president of American Rivers, an environmental group that has listed the Tijuana River as the second most endangered in the U.S., expressed optimism about the MOU. This is a significant step forward, he said, hoping it will catalyze major improvements for the river and its ecosystem. However, San Diego County Supervisor Paloma Aguirre, who's also the former mayor of Imperial Beach, remains cautious. She points out that while the agreement addresses some issues, it may not fully tackle the range of dangerous chemicals in the river. Unless the pollution is eliminated at the source, our community will continue to suffer, she emphasized, citing recent studies leading to the ongoing risks.
What they should do is, somehow, they should get that fucked up president, the woman president, Mexico, and tell her, this is your problem, solve it.
Despite her concerns, Aguirre sees the agreement as a positive sign. Our voices have been heard, and I hope to see real progress in the coming months, she said. Zeldin underscored the importance of cooperation with his aimed at the ongoing sewage crisis affecting the border region, particularly in San Diego County.
That's like here in the Philippines.
Finalized on Thursday marks a crucial step towards resolving a long-standing environmental issue that has plagued both nations. The urgency of action. For Lee Zeldin, the administrator of the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, the emphasis on speed in implementing this agreement was paramount. During an online briefing from Mexico City, where he officially signed the document, Zeldin stated, if any speed changes, that speed will have to be a speed to go faster. This highlights the pressing need for swift action to mitigate the crisis. For decades, communities in San Diego's South Bay have lost water covering peninsula into the border.
Yeah, all the fucking animals.
The deteriorating infrastructure in Tijuana has resulted in billions of gallons of hazardous waste contaminating the environment, severely impacting public health and local economy. Scientific studies have confirmed the presence of sewage in the water, soil, and air, posing serious health risks to residents. Zeldin recalled his own experience with the foul odors that have become all too familiar to Southern California residents. They responded promptly, tweeting today's announcement on the Tijuana Super.
You're right.
Treated wastewater from the Tijuana River to a site upstream of the Rodriguez Dam. But here's the catch. The project is estimated to cost $13.3 million, and it's unclear how the funding will be secured. The agreement also prioritizes the rehabilitation of a structure called the parallel gravity line, a backup pipe that can collect overflow from the Tijuana water system at a cost of $8.2 million. On the US side, the memorandum calls for increasing the treatment capacity of the South Bay International Wastewater Treatment Plant in San Isidro from 25 million to 50 million gallons per day by December 2027. But how will this be achieved? And what are the potential challenges and limitations? While the agreement seems to have bipartisan support, with US Rep Scott Peters applauding the effort, others are more measured in their response. San Diego County Supervisor Paloma Aguirre or that the commitments made are fulfilled. And this is the part most people miss. The agreement is not just about fixing the immediate problem, but also about addressing the underlying issues that have led to this crisis.
Very clever.
Mr. Trump is doing for world trade what it could not do for itself, and that is the subject here. We're going to be able to sell rice and cars to Japan. Or we're going to actually sell more cars to Europe. And we're going to sell a ton of clean-burning liquid natural gas to Europe, which would be great for our producers and good to wean Europe off of its Russian energy dependence. How can these things not? There wasn't much diplomacy of any kind. Today is a completely different history. Trump is single-handedly doing for the world trade system what it could not do for itself. And that is the regret.
You use that, making money off the trade is bullshit.
Why do you mean? Use a lot less.
We wouldn't make a deal, baby. They can rip this off.
It's more myself.
Years of a diplomatic relation should be a cause for celebration. Instead, EU-China relations are tense to say the least. Do they get worse, or is there a way around this?
Who is this bitch?
It's hard, frankly, to see how they can get worse, but they've been getting worse. Even if every year we thought that was kind of the turning point, but basically,
There's tons in one here.
most importantly, the European market share in China's imports has actually come down. So it's just not it's not as convenient, as profitable. This creation is not as profitable for the Europeans, and this is also true for European companies in China.
Well, now they got to deal with us, though.
European chambers.
Fuck you.
I would argue.
Then China responds with counter duties of its own on European luxury goods such as cognac. So there is anything approaching a breakthrough in EU-China trade relations. Are both sides, Alicia, effectively locked in a retaliatory trade and tariff war of their own? Which respective economy has got most to lose out of this?
Well, first of all, yes, that's where we are. We're in this vicious circle. We have medical devices, first Europe, then China, and we will have more coming from the European side because we have close to 20 cases open of foreign subsidy investigations or international procurement in the case of medical devices. So this is going to come, and you're right, there's going to be retaliation from China. Europe is going to come back again. So that's the spiral. Is it good?
This guy was disappointed.
According to reports, China is preventing 2 US citizens from leaving the country. One of those detained is an employee of our Commerce Department. Gordon Chang, China expert, joins me now. Is their release going to be part of our trade negotiations? In other words, are these folks hostages?
Well, they certainly are hostages. How we deal with this, I don't know. I don't know what the Treasury Secretary is going to do in Stockholm. But you know, Stuart, we are seeing an increase in the number of Americans detained under circumstances that do suggest hostage taking. I should say though that this is a period of intense turmoil, so it's very difficult to talk about.
And her sister's
whoever is running the country,
fiance,
but nonetheless, this is a growing situation. And it's not just for America; it's for other countries as well.
Tell me more about what's going on inside China. You usually expect to get a distraction.
Well, what's going on is that Xi Jinping appears to have lost control of the military, and it appears he has lost influence on China's civilian leaders. There's a lot going on. You know, day to day, in July, it looks like Xi Jinping has gained a little bit of altitude, but there are reports that next month there's going to be a number of party meetings where Xi Jinping is stripped of some authority. News, and the reason is it shows that the United States believes it's in a weak position, that we're trying to please the Chinese. Now that's, you know, you normally would think that would work, but we've tried that for like 3.5 decades and it hasn't worked. So I think that we need to be stern. If we're stern, the Chinese will react. That's the way they.
Here's your boy. Here's your boy, Stephen A. Smith. You know who he is, right? He wants to run for the Democratic Party.
I'm joined now by the host of ESPN's First Take, Stephen A. Smith, who has 2 new shows coming to Sirius XM in September, a sports show and a politics show, and there is no show on the political front. So, Stephen A., thank you for joining us. Great to have you back on this week.
My pleasure.
So let's start with what we saw in the White House this week. Tulsi Gabbard, the Director of National Intelligence, coming out making some extraordinary claims about Barack Obama, the President of the United States, accusing Obama of treason. Again, no evidence whatsoever for any of this stuff. But what did you think as you were watching? Remember that?
Yeah.
I thought it was a lot of hyperbole, to be quite honest with you. You know, we can talk about the veracity of the things that she was saying, challenge that to some degree. I'm quite sure people on the left would do so. But at the end of the day, courtesy of Donald Trump, what are you going to do about it in the end? Other than smear the former president of the United States, Barack Obama, and sully his name, what else is going to happen? He's not in danger of any lawlessness. He's not going to jail or anything like that. You know, basically the Supreme Court's decision a few months ago, essentially, you're the president of the United States. Due to Trump and what he was pushing, you essentially get to operate with relative impunity as long as you're making decisions, you know, from a government perspective as a commander-in-chief. So Barack Obama doesn't really have much to worry about. Once again, I think this is Trump throwing food to his base because obviously if you rile up MAGA to some degree by highlighting the things that have transpired in years past that basically buffer your points that you were making, you look good with them. Those kind of things that are being discussed has me looking at the president with a raised eyebrow because I'm saying to myself, since the bill was the big, beautiful bill, and there's so much good that emanates from the bill, you literally are distracting our attention away from that for issues like this. I find it hard to believe that this is going to amount to anything, to be quite honest with you. It's hard to obviously we look at CIA, FBI, look at the involvement, look at weaponizing the intelligence agencies. I'm certainly not trying to dismiss that as a concern because it is a concern. It is something we should all pay attention to. But to call Barack Obama out by name with no evidence that you put forth, I mean, I would need to see more. But if you're going to incriminate a former president of the United States like that with such, you know, hyperbolic words like treason and what have you. Treason, he said. Before you do it. That's what he said. That's what he said.
And to be clear, I mean, we throw all the results together. On the round table, it shows even on issues where the public is not approved of the president or of Republicans, they actually have a lower approval rating of the Democrats.
Well, as he said, one party has a leader, Donald Trump. You can refute it. Nobody can refute that. He is the leader of the GOP, the Republican Party. They want to say about it. The Democrats don't have a leader. You know, I see who's your leader.
Who is it? Is it AOC? Is it Bernie Sanders? Is it Jasmine Crockett? Who is it? You know, we respect so many people on Capitol Hill. I'm certainly not here to cast aspersions upon individuals, but as a body, the Democratic Party just looks very, very bad right now because they are leaderless. They don't have a definitive voice that anybody can depend on. Towards 2028, for example, we see a guy like Governor Westmore, who I like a lot, and I think he's very capable. A John Shapiro, governor of Pennsylvania, who I like, and I think he's very, very capable. When you talk about a national voice for the Democratic Party, it is literally non-existent. You have no one like that. I'm in New York City. You got this guy on Montana that won the Democratic nominee former governor Andrew Cuomo. Andrew Cuomo and Mayor Eric Adams are going against one another as an independent. This fear about the kids that one another out. This is second paved the way for Mamdani, who's a renowned socialist. That's not what America really is about. Nevertheless, you can end up being the mayor of New York City. Why? Because when you don't have any kind of leader whatsoever, you're going to look to grab one any way you can, any chance you can. That's what the situation is with the Democratic Party. We do not have a leader.
All right, Stephen A. Smith, thank you for joining us. We'll have you back. Appreciate your time. All right.
Dan, you actually answered my question. $300 million.
Thank you very much, Vanessa. Now, there's one new major agreement between the U.S. and Mexico.
U.S. President Donald Trump's trade deadline is just 3 days away. While in Washington last week, the Texas negotiating team downplayed the likelihood of a deal by Friday. Today, though, Trump's Commerce Secretary said that deadline will not be delayed any further.
We're going to have things done by Friday. Friday is not that far away, so you should expect. We said August 1st is the date, and we're setting all these rates, and they are off to the races after that.
Trump wrote to Prime Minister Mark Carney earlier this month saying that on August 1st, the U.S. will slap a 35% tariff on goods that do not comply with the U.S.-Mexico agreement. So, where do those talks stand right now? I'm joined by Republican Senator Kevin Kramer from North Dakota now. He is the co-chair of the Canada-U.S. Interparliamentary Group. Senator, good to have you back on the program.
Very good, David. Thank you.
Senator, you have been very close to the president for many years. Are you on the same page as Donald Trump when it comes to tariffs against Canadian goods?
Well, at this point, I like where we all are, assuming that we can get to a long-term resolution that's similar to what we have right now. The 232 tariffs on steel and aluminum are a little bit concerning to me, to say the least. I think with the rest of it, we can get to a place that's mutually beneficial.
Yeah, I do want to talk about steel and aluminum, but before I get to that, we just sort of get overarching. Do you have any information to suggest we actually are close to a deal that's Friday's deadline in Friday?
Well, I think in all likelihood, Friday's deadline is a common goal. My hope is, and what I'm encouraging the president to do is to not issue any new tariffs up to 35%, something like that, but rather extend the deadline as the deal is made. I think it's hard to put all of the onus on the other countries when we're
stop it.
That's a fair play as well. For example, with Canada, the carve-out for USMCA makes all of the sense in the world. And then applying some of that to non-USMCA things that are in high demand in the United States that are unique to Canada, such as potash, which of course in North Dakota we relate very closely to, and some energy products as well. Energy products, as you know, go in and out between the two countries as though we are one country. So, I think that framework has been, in place now for a long time. I think
Canada wants to be free.
extending that while negotiations continue is very realistic. Now, That said, we've seen how fast deals can come together, and we know that a lot of good people on both sides are working together on it. Our trader Representative Jameson Greer is working closely with your ambassador, Mr. Hillman, and your trade minister, Ron. So things are happening, it's possible. But I'm more concerned. We're the largest producer in the world.
I'm in it.